Hi everyone, welcome to Open Level Yoga. This is Monday, October 11th, 6:45 p.m. right now, but maybe not if you're watching this later. My name is Calia. I use she, her pronouns. Glad to be here with you today. Welcome, Monica. So I'm going to just put this in the chat again. For tonight's practice, we're going to use a blanket and a strap. It's been such a long time. Nice to see you. And perhaps blocks if you want. And yeah, I think that's it for our practice today. Today is Indigenous Peoples Day. So I want to honor that and bring that into our practice. Earlier today, I went to a talk, a webinar kind of thing that was hosted by the Smithsonian Museum, I think. And it was Black and Indigenous youth talking about what that experience is like and talking about solidarity. And one of the people, am I forgetting his name now? Kyle something. Let me see if I can find it. But one of the people was talking about this day, of how now people are, beginning to recognize it as Indigenous Peoples Day rather than Columbus Day. And he was like, "That's great. I'm glad that we can have this celebration of our people, of our culture. But what I really want is liberation." So he was like, maybe we'll do this for a few years, and then I'd like to move on out of just this like, yay, let's honor Indigenous people on this day, toward really working toward liberation. I mean, I think he wants that like today, not like in a couple of years. But okay, I no longer know how to work my Instagram. Something changed since yesterday or something. And I really wish I remembered his name. Kyle, and then his last name starts with an M. And he wrote a book. It's sort of like a People's History of the United States sort of a book, but it's like, I think it might even be Black and Indigenous histories intertwined. It looked cool. I'll try to find it. If you're interested, you can send me a message. Anyway, so I really loved that, because I do think that, many of us are opening up to a new consciousness around the ways in which we can honor Native peoples, both past and present and future. But that it needs to be more. And I was also thinking about, like, we have all these national holidays, and the point of those holidays, I think, is that we actually spend time on that day to reflect or learn more, or something like that, to go deeper into whatever that thing is that we're recognizing. So if you haven't had an opportunity to do that today, I encourage you to do that, even if it's for 5 minutes before you go to bed tonight. So with that, let's start. I'll invite you to take a hand to your heart, and the other hand like a little plug, like down into the ground, if you can reach, or just whatever's beneath you there. And then you're welcome to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just take a moment to tune into your breath. Feel your heartbeat. And feel this connection down into the floor. A couple of weekends ago, I went to a virtual teach-in that was co-hosted by I'm saying the Smithsonian, but I feel like it's more specific than that, and an organization called Teach for Change. And all of the different people who spoke talked about this need, or this really like a law, like a spiritual law of indigeneity, is honoring the land, honoring the waters, the animals, the plants, and dedicating your life to protecting those things. So as you take some deep breaths here, as you are plugging in to yourself and to the ground beneath you, let's come back to those words of what I really want is liberation. And so what is your role? What is your role in bringing liberation to Native peoples? And maybe you don't know what your role is, so what is your commitment to learning more, so then maybe your role can become apparent? So we'll keep that in mind in our practice this evening, and also working toward our own liberation in this practice, because all of our liberation is intertwined. True liberation, not just like, oh, I have the freedom to do whatever I want and using our privileges in that way, but true liberation is when all of us have choice and agency and basic necessities met, and so much more. So let's take a deep breath in together and a long breath out. And let's inhale. Feel free to join me for 3 sounds of Om. Let's release our hands, gently float the eyes open. Great, start to circle your shoulders a couple times. Once again, if anyone has any particular requests, feel free to write it to me in the chat. And then let's take hands onto knees and with legs crossed. And for me, I find this easier to do not sitting up on a blanket. I'll back up here and join you. But just to be on floor height, but see what works best for you depending on what's happening with your hips. And then start to take some clockwise circles with your rib cage. And if you're not sure which way that is, don't worry. Just different. So let's breathe in as we come forward and breathe out as we move back. The circle can be as big or as small as you want. It can be focused more in the pelvis, moving in the hip joints. It can be more with the rib cage or with shoulders and neck or all of it. One of the people at that virtual teaching was talking about the water, I think they're called the water keepers. I'm getting all the words wrong. But a group of women who have done all these long walks, right, in order to save, to like stop pipelines, to save water. All right, let's come to center, switch the cross of your legs, and then change the direction of your circle. Still breathing in to come forward and breathing out to come back. Anyway, so this person was also talking how there are youth water walkers now too. There's like a whole movement. So we'll start out with some watery movement for the beginning of our practice. Just experiencing that element in our body, which of course we have lots of in our body. That connection, of course, being so very important between the health of our water and the world and the health of our bodies. All right, and then let's come on over, let's see which way do I want to go. Let's come on over to take the right hand down to the floor. You can bring that knee in line with the hand and extend your left leg out to the side, so I'm mirroring you here. Yeah, definitely feel free to take a blanket underneath. And then start to take some big circles with your arm. Again, breathing in as you lift up and breathing out as you come down. Right, like a little closing off, a little compression in the front of the body. Let that exhale. And let this really feel flowy. Right, you might bring your spine, your gaze, your head with you. If that doesn't make you dizzy. And then let's reach that arm up and over the ear. And then if you'd like, you can float that leg up too, and then reach out in two directions. Right, we're all close-ish, those of us who are here, to the Hudson River, the river that flows both ways, it was called. So feel like your energy could flow in two directions here. One more big breath. And then take your inhale to lift you up. And then we'll take the shin back so the foot turns back behind us. Good. And then this left leg that's extended, turn the toes to point forward. Take your hands onto your hips, find an evenness there. Let's take a breath in to reach the arms out. And as you exhale, tip over toward your leg. You can place your hands somewhere on your leg, maybe not right on your knee, but above or below, or just kind of rest it, but don't put any weight there. So focus on this lifting up through your spine as we come into Badakanasana, gate pose. Breathing here, soft jaw. Another concept I've been thinking about lately is gatekeeping, which I'll talk more about on the second side. All right, and let's take our hands down to the floor. Sit your hips back a little bit so you feel an opening in the inner thigh or wherever you feel it. Let's turn the head from side to side. Feel free to make any sounds that feel helpful. Great. And then take a breath in to lift that leg up to the side. And exhale, draw your knee toward your nose, round your back here. Stay here as you breathe in. Exhale, draw navel up towards spine, maybe lifting that left thigh a little bit higher. And then inhale, send that leg back behind you, bringing the sole of your foot up toward the sky. Little arch, you can see my toes back there. Good, and then take that foot down. Let's come right away to the second side, kind of reverse this. So lift your foot up behind you as you breathe in, the right leg. And exhale, round your back, drawing knee toward nose. Stay here as you breathe in. And out, drawing it up. And then inhale, send that leg out to the side. And exhale, place it down. Toes point forward. Good, and then walk your hands back. And you can come on up, hands onto hips. Even out your hips here. Let's breathe in, arms out to the sides. And exhale, tip over toward your straight leg. Good, so really use your breath in to find length through the spine here. Feel that opening, the gateway opening here. Right, so the way I understand gatekeeping is it's like the places where, or that we are gatekeepers, right, in the places where we hold power and where we have choice. So in relationship to Indigenous Peoples Day, take a moment just to think about, like, where am I a gatekeeper as far as providing information or access, right? Maybe you write grants, so how can you bring in Native folks more, or maybe you're an educator, how can you adjust your curriculum? So where might you be a gatekeeper? Maybe it's just in conversations with friends or family. All right, let's breathe in, come on up, and take your hands down, sit back. Nice strong breaths. Feel free to take an ujjayi breath. So you're making a little hissing sound through your nose on your breath in and out. The tightening of the throat. Now let's walk on over to the side. You can turn your foot in so that your hand and leg are in line with one another. And start to make some big circles with your right arm. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Feeling again that flow, so coming into that energy with the arm. Bringing the spine with you. Circle whatever direction makes sense to you. And then you'll reach the arm up and over the head. And then if you want, you can take that back leg up. And then flow in both directions. Energy reaching forward through the fingertips and back through the foot. Like the Hudson River. Fresh water flowing into salt water. And exhale. Take your hand down. Turn and face the side. Let's tuck the toes. Lift up, come into your downward facing dog. Feel free to move around there. Take a couple breaths. Bend the knees. Shake out your head. And then let's set the hands a little closer and the feet a little closer and the hands a little closer and the feet a little closer until you come toward the center of your mat. Let's bend the knees to shake out your head and then start to make your way up to stand. You can round up through the spine or you can lengthen forward through a long spine. And bring yourself all the way up, and we'll turn to face the camera if you're not already. Great. All right, so let's shift onto the right foot. I'll mirror you here. Take your left knee up into your chest. Hold on to it for a second. You might need to bend your standing leg to reach it. And then just draw that knee up into your chest. Good, drop the shoulders down. And then let's turn that leg out to the side and bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh, inner calf, toe to the floor, anywhere in there. And then we'll bring palms to touch. And draw energy in, so palms are reaching toward each other, the legs are reaching into each other, sole of the foot into the leg. Good. Great, and then start to reach up through your arms, breathing here. And in this tree pose, connecting to this nature element and roots, feeling roots through the sole of your foot. I wore my tree pants today for the occasion. And then let's play with bringing the left arm down to the leg. You can shift your hips to the right a little bit and play with taking a side bend. Playing with that edge of balance, right? And for me, I'm feeling like, there's a lot in our world that is out of balance right now. And sometimes we fall, and sometimes we're able to recover and come back. Okay, so let's start to make our way back to center. Bringing palms together in front of your heart. Turn that knee forward again. Big breath in. Exhale, reach the leg forward. And then place it down. Good. And then shift onto the second side, draw your knee in toward your chest, lifting it up, shoulders back, feel the back body really alive here. Great, and then turn the foot out and place your foot somewhere on your leg. I actually find having my foot on my calf is a lot harder than on my thigh. I don't know why, what that is, but I feel like I have to work harder to balance here, for whatever that's worth. All right, so feel everything drawing in towards center, so you're finding that support, finding earth element in your body, and then start to reach up toward the air if you would like. Bringing that breath in, feel the air on your skin, and then start to take a side bend here. If you want to play with balance, you can always use the wall. I have this nice little molding here, can help me balance. And feel all of that adjustment that needs to be made all the time within ourselves, within the earth, how we can be in conversation between what's happening in our ankle, with our breath, with our focus. And then start to make your way back up. Let's turn the foot forward, palms together in front of the heart. Big breath in. Exhale, send the foot forward. And place it down on the floor. Great. Start to take a bend with your knees. All right, getting into the legs, which is also connected to that element of earth. We can have the feet a little separated here, and then just find a seat. All right. Let's breathe the arms forward and then slide your shoulder blades back. Coming into an Utkatasana variation. Good. We're gonna keep the legs and the hips completely steady. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, twist to one side. Bring your hand to the leg and other arm behind you. Mine's a little out to the side because of space, so wherever works for you. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale to the other side. See if you can keep your legs and hips completely steady as you continue with this. Inhaling to center and exhaling on your twist. Go at your own timing. But feeling that solidity of earth. Of course, there's some movement, right? Earth does shift, certainly. Even rock shifts. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, or completely imperceptibly maybe. And coming back to center, let's breathe in to come all the way up. And hands into heart center. Great. If your mat is horizontal to the camera, as mine is, you can turn to face the right side of your mat. If you're facing toward the camera, then stay where you are. All right. So let's take the right leg up into our chest, breathing in here, palms together, good. As you exhale, this time reach the arms up as you kick that foot forward. And then bring the palms back in, inhale, bend your knee. And as you exhale, start to reach it back behind you, coming to warrior three. Feel free to bend the standing leg a little bit. You can keep the palms pressing toward each other, or take another variation with your arms, right? Arms reaching out or back or forward. And then feel the energy flowing both ways, out through the top of your head, out through the leg that's lifted, down into the floor, up as you're drawing your navel up, supporting the whole back. One more big breath in and out. Let's bend the standing leg, reach back with that right foot. Good. Inhale to sweep the arms up toward the sky, high lunge. And exhale, draw the fists in. You can bend that back knee as much as you would like. And we'll take that a couple of times. Lengthening the back leg as we reach up, opening the chest, little back bend, and exhale, bend the knee, draw in. If you're feeling any pinching in your lower back, then just don't straighten the leg all the way, right? And really draw the navel in to support. See if you can feel a steadiness in the legs, which is harder when they're moving, back knee's moving. And a nice flow with your breath and with the arms. Let's just take one more. Good. And then as you reach the arms up, let's shift the weight forward, draw that knee into your chest again, and exhale, come to mountain pose. Take a breath here. Feel your heartbeat, feel the soles of your feet. And let's come to the second side, palms together, lift that left leg up, breath in. Exhale, take the foot forward, reach the arms up toward the sky. Inhale, bend that knee again, start to reach it back, coming into warrior three. Beautiful. Again, you can have the standing leg bent if that supports you, and then can you really reach back through that back heel and feel your chest opening just a little bit more. Right, so your torso is not like folding down, but you're really lifting up. And here is that place where you might want to use your blocks, right? So feel free to have that support with hands on something. Sorry, I didn't say that on the first time. One more breath. Let's bend the standing leg and then reach back, landing into our lunge. Good. We'll inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Lift and open the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, draw the arms in. You could bend the back knee just a little bit or almost to touch the floor. Right? And then take that a few times. Feel the legs working, the gluteus muscles, the outer hips. Nice and steady. A flow of breath of the upper body and arms. Great. And then let's take the hands down to the floor this time. Good. That leg that's in front, sweep it all the way up into the sky behind you for a three-legged dog. Reach it up. Feel the legs drawing away from one another. And then let's start to open that hip to the side. And you can bend that top knee. Feel the opposite heel reaching down toward the earth. Either stay here or flip the dog so you can bring those toes of the bent knee down to the ground behind you and lift the chest up, lift the arms up. I don't know if you can even see. Good, yeah, if you know it, do it. And then come on back, make your way back. Gentle with the knees. Send that leg back up into the sky. Big breath in. Look forward, exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Feel free to bring the back knee down first to bring that foot forward. So that's our right foot, that's forward. Your right foot. I'm mirroring. All right, let's spin the back heel down to the floor and inhale, circle on up into warrior two. Great. And then take a flow here so you can reach forward with the right fingertips, inhale it up, exhale as you tip back. And inhale, come back through warrior two. Exhale, forearm to thigh or fingertips to your block or to the floor to come into extended side angle. And take that a few times, coming back into that feeling of flow, moving back and forth, moving with breath. Feeling that element of water within your body. Good, and then this time as we come up, straighten your front leg and take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers. If you do have a block, you might want it there in front of you. If you don't, it's not a problem at all. Let's draw the shoulder blades toward each other. Inhale, lift and open your chest. As you exhale, start to bend your front knee once again, and we'll fold forward toward the inside of that front leg. And then let your head go, and if your block is there, you could place your head onto your block. And if it's not, then that's totally fine too. And then what would it feel like? Would this work for you to bring the straight leg behind you even further back so that you get even closer to the earth, right? And if I have my block, I might want to bring it lower. So you're folding into this humble warrior, moving down toward the earth. And if that doesn't work for you, then you're lengthening out. So take one more breath where you are. And then release your hands to hips and then down to the floor. Great, let's walk toward the middle of our mat, turn the feet in so they're parallel to one another. Take a breath, lengthen out. Exhale, fold forward. And again, if you have your block, you could slide it underneath your head to bring the floor up to meet you, or a couple blocks maybe. Good, take a couple of breaths there. See if you can slow down your breath. Good. And if you feel like you want a little bit more of that earth element, feel like you could draw your legs toward one another, so you're really engaging the leg muscles there. For one more breath. Good. And then lift yourself halfway up. If your mat is horizontal, we're going to turn toward the second side of our mat. Otherwise, you'll turn back toward the front of your mat. All right? So come to frame your front foot, whichever one that is. And then we're going to come back into a downward facing dog. Good, big breath in and out there. Good, inhale forward to a plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, slowly lower down to the ground or halfway. You can bring knees first or lower in one piece. And then open your chest, baby cobra, upward dog, whatever works for you. Use your navel to draw yourself back into downward facing dog. Another long breath in and out here. Great. Let's bring the left leg up into the sky and a breath in. Really reach long through your arms, reaching into the earth. Start to open your hip, opening out to the side. Bend your top knee and stay here. Feel the knee reaching up and the opposite heel reaching down from the floor. Or flip your dog, bring your toes down behind you, arm up above your head, lengthen that right leg, extend, lift the hips up, take care of your bottom shoulder, drawing shoulder blade toward the spine, and start to make your way back, coming back into that three-legged dog. Nice, and look forward, exhale to step your foot between your hands, and however it works for you to get there. If you want your blocks on this side, then move your blocks. Spin the back heel down, circle the arms up. Warrior two. Inhale, reach forward. Yeah, I saw that breath. Exhale, tip back, reverse warrior. And then you'll inhale up, exhale, form or fingertips down, right arm up and over the ear. Good, take that a few times. Keep on, keep going. Flowing back and forth. Great. And either enjoy like just that stability of the legs, or you might find a little bit of movement there too. All right, as you come back up, straighten your front leg. And then let's take the hands behind and see if you can interlace with the opposite thumb on top this time. Draw shoulder blades together, inhale, lift and open your chest. Exhale, bend your front knee, really externally rotate that thigh. And then start to lean forward on the inside of that leg. You can pause up here or keep going so your head starts to fold down toward the floor. If you tend to hyperextend your back knee, find a little micro bend there. And then if you want to play with bringing that foot even further away from you, feel free to see if you can meet the floor a little bit closer. Not necessarily all the way. Socially distanced between your head and the floor. A couple more breaths. Feeling this humble warrior shape. Good. And then gently release your hands down toward the ground. And let's come right into downward dog from here. Stepping back. Come on forward into plank pose. Good. Good. Exhale halfway or all the way down toward the earth. Opening your chest on your breath in. And as you're ready, down dog or child's pose, right? Feel free to come to bring the hips back to rest here. If your arms are tired, it might feel nice to bring them by your sides in a child's pose. Or take a couple breaths in your down dog. As you're ready, start to take hand and foot walking in toward the center of your mat. Take your time, really feel your footprints and your handprints down into the earth, whatever imprint you're making, and how there were probably other people before you who made their own imprints on the earth in this exact same spot. And start to bend your knees. And once again, roll up or lengthen forward and up to come all the way to stand. And let's grab our strap here. Or your scarf or your belt or a pair of leggings, a shirt, whatever you want. If you do have a strap, let's make a little loop. And if you don't, no worries, you can just hold on to both ends of your strap. And then let's shift into the right leg again here. So we're gonna bring the knee up. We'll bring our arm on the inside to wrap the strap around our foot. Right, and then you might need to adjust. So if you don't have a loop, then that's easy. You can just slide your hands. If you do have a loop, you might make it longer or shorter. So take a breath in here, lengthen up, draw your shoulders back. Let's take the other hand onto hip. And as you exhale, send that leg out in front of you. And then bend your knee again on your inhale. And exhale, send the leg out. And just notice if anything's changing in your pelvis, right? Notice if as you bring your leg out, your pelvis is tucking and your back is rounding. See if you can stay really tall, which might mean you bring your leg a little bit lower. Right? And so the next time you come out, pause there. Turn to face you again. And then start to open that leg out to the side. Sometimes we can go higher to the side. We might need to bend our elbow, we might need to bend our knee, right? And then if you want to bring the arm out to the side, that can be a nice way to kind of counterbalance that. Feel that reaching out in both directions, reaching down to the floor, up into the top of the head. One more breath. And exhale, bend your knee, place it down. Good, that was a nice fall. Very like water flowing down to the ground. All right, take a breath here. Feel both feet solidly on the earth. All right, let's come to the second side. Bring that strap around your foot, hand to hip, shoulders back. And then as you're ready, you'll a couple times extend and bend and notice what's happening in your hips and in your back. If you want to bring that leg to a different height, if you want to maybe not extend the leg all the way, right? And then start to find that spot where you can rest, where you feel lengthened, you're not dumping into your lower back, where you're lifting up, able to breathe. As always, feel free to use whatever's around you to support your balance. And then start to open it out to the side. Maybe arm in the opposite direction. And breathe. Soften the jaw. Soften your eyes. Again, sometimes things fall out of balance, and that's okay. And we just try to recover. All right, let's bend the knee. And let that go. Shake that out. Drop your strap. Great. Turning to face the front of your mat if you're not already. Take a big breath in, reach those arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward, honoring yourself, the earth. And then hop or step your way back into downward facing dog. I'm gonna come on up to the camera. Good, big breath in and out here. All right, take your right leg up into the sky, three-legged dog. Draw your knee in toward your chest, and we'll come to pigeon here. So you can draw that knee toward the wrist and other foot down. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for knowing what you need. Okay, so lots of options in your pigeon, right? You can take the version on your back, figure 4, and play with where your leg is too, right? Because you can have the shin parallel to the floor, or you could also draw your ankle closer to your hip, right? So different angles are possible there. If you're in an upright pigeon, it's always nice to have some padding underneath the hips. For me, that takes me from a place of like, whoa, being really on the edge to being really supported so that I can pay attention to what else is going on. So play with where your hands are in relationship to your pelvis so that you can find a spot where you can really lift and lengthen out without crunching your lower back. If you want to bend the back knee and find your ankle or use your strap around your foot, that's a great option to draw it in. Breathing into the quadriceps, breathing into that nice open heart. And then if you're in the back bend, start to make your way out. You can make your way forward. I like to pause right before I get there and see if I can find a little bit more length before I come all the way down. If you're on your back and you've been there for a while, whatever leg was on top, so if your right leg was on top, roll onto your left side. You can bring your arm underneath your ear and then take a little back bend here. So you can bring the upper arm over your head, reaching back, and your top leg, it can be straight or bent, but reach it back behind you and work in this like a little lengthened back bend there. Great. One more big in breath and out breath. And then begin to make your way out. So either coming onto your back again or back into a downward dog or hands and knees. Good. Okay, second side. So left leg can lift up into a three-legged dog if you're there. And everyone, your left knee is going to come in toward you. So left leg, unless you already did that side. Great. If you're in a figure 4, drawing the right knee in, front top leg flexed. See if you can soften your neck and your shoulders down toward the earth. If you're in an upright pigeon, again, find a place for your arms where you're really supported. You can reach for the back foot, maybe using the strap, maybe tucking that foot into your elbow. But definitely taking something that's going to support. I heard someone talking recently about like more acrobatic yoga as being like, that's a great thing to do if you want, but just know that it's not gonna like last a lifetime. It might actually shorten your lifespan. And I was like, whoa, never thought of it like that. Not that acrobatic yoga is bad, but just we need to find that place where we're doing things that are going to support our longevity and liberation. Great. So if you haven't already, you can come forward or release. If you're on your back, come onto your side, your right side. And reach the top arm and leg away from each other and a little bit back to move into a little back bend. Good. If you're in the upright pigeon, see if in this next breath you can release your shoulders a little bit more. All right, start to make your way up or just out of that. You can come back to one more down dog if you want, or if you're on your back, we're going to come onto our side in a moment, so feel free to stay there. All right. So let's all come onto our side, face whatever way you're facing. Bring your elbow down to the ground. Let's bend our knees and scoot the knees back a little bit, and scoot the hips forward a little bit. So we're mostly in a straight line. For me, I find it easier if my elbow's like really underneath me rather than further out. We'll take the other hand to hip. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift the hips up. Let's extend that leg, reach out to the top of your head. Inhale, lift that leg up. Lower it down, exhale, draw your knee toward your chest. Extend it back out. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower it, and then draw it in. Good, take that a couple of times. And if you hate this, you can stay here, or you can just do the leg part, pick one or the other. Good, take it 2 more times. Nice, and then lower your hips down. And then come on up, the top leg can extend, other leg, draw it in so that the sole of your foot's coming toward the inner thigh, sort of like our tree. Plug your sit bones down into the earth and grow up tall through your spine. Let's reach the arms out, big breath in. And exhale, tip toward the straight leg. And see if you can rotate your heart up toward the sky. Soften your jaw. Easy breath. Yeah, I love that variation of holding the head, holding the neck. Good. And inhale to come back up to center. Let's bend the top knee. Slide it in, step it either to the shin side or thigh side of the legs. Let's hook interlace the fingers around the knee and use that to really roll toward the front of the sit bones. For me, I feel a nice stretch in my outer hip when I do that. Take one more breath. And then we're going to come on to our second side. We'll strengthen that hip that we just stretched. Okay, my physical therapist tells me I don't always have to finish with a stretch. So elbow underneath the arm. It's like sometimes we actually just need to strengthen, not just to lengthen. All right, so move your hips forward. Let's lift up. So you can be here and stay, or you'll extend the leg. Inhale to lift the leg up. Exhale to lower it back down, draw it in toward your chest. And then inhale to extend it, right? Another option is just to do the leg, but have the bottom hip down on the ground. So using your breath. Asana is such an amazing practice to find moments that are challenging, that are uncomfortable, and to use all of the tools of our breath, of our presence, of our noticing, to just be with whatever that is. Great. Last moment here. And then let's release down. Extend the top leg, lift your way up. Slide that vent knee out from underneath you so you can sit on the pelvis. Flex your foot out there, take the arms up, big breath in. And tip to the side toward that straight leg. Left arm up and over the ears. Or hand behind your head, and then rotate your chest up toward the sky. Great. Keep plugging down through the sit bones into the earth. Feel that lengthening. And inhale. Come on up. So either take the legs wide into a straddle or soles of the feet together for Badakanasana. I'm going to pick a straddle for today. You can use your fingertips behind you to roll toward the front of the sit bones. Big breath in, and maybe you stay working with that length, or perhaps you fold forward. If you have blocks or a blanket, you can take that underneath your head if you would like. Two more deep breaths here. Even if you're in a very small forward bend, feel this as a, for me, forward bends just feel like I'm really, like I'm bowing forward, honoring my breath, my body, my life, the place where I am. That was more than 2 breaths, but. Start to walk your way back up. Bend your knees. And then come back onto your side. Again, doesn't matter which side you're on. And then take your blanket and bring that underneath your head so it's a pillow here on your side. And those of you who take my class regularly, I'm sure you've done this before. So we'll take the bottom hand, the arm that's on the bottom, and take it onto the top leg. So we're going to use this hand to just support our legs and staying right where they are. The other hand can come on to rest onto the bottom shoulder. We'll take a breath in here. And as you exhale, start to twist the upper body, but the legs, the hips stay where they are. And just notice where you feel that twist the most. Come back to center and take that again. Inhale here and then exhale as you move back into your twist. Take a breath there. And then come back onto your side. And now we're going to change it. So let's extend both arms out in front of us. So you're reaching forward. Take a breath here, and then as you exhale, start to slide your top hand along the bottom arm. Just going to slide that arm back. Let that take you into a twist, and this time let your hips and your leg move with you. And your head, you can look back behind you. And then start to curl the fingertips in, slide that hand across your chest, down your arm to bring yourself back to center. And take that 2 more times. And we're going to come up to the camera again. And just notice the difference. Notice where you feel that twist. The different quality that's there. For me, this feels more watery than the other one. Both useful, but in different ways. Good. And once you come back onto your side, roll onto your back. You can just leave that blanket underneath your head. Take a pause there. And then come onto your second side. Knees bent. Blanket supporting your head. Take the arm that's underneath you and take that hand onto the top thigh, giving it some stability. And the arm that's on top, you can take that hand and just rest it on the bottom shoulder. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, start to twist. Legs and hips stay steady. Start focusing the twist more in the middle back. Take a breath. And then you'll make your way back onto your side. Good. Inhale there. And then exhale, move into that twist again. All right, so there's a lot of restriction in that. Sometimes restriction can be useful. Sometimes it just feels horrible and doesn't allow us to move as we need to. And then come on back. And then extend your arms out in front of you, palm to palm. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, start to slide that hand alongside the inner arm, across your chest. Open it up, let the hip move, let the leg move. And then curl your fingers in, brush across your chest and back down your arm to come onto your side again. And take that twice more. And then feel this. Less of a container to the movement. Maybe you really enjoy that feeling of wateriness, of flow, if it feels like that for you. Good. And then once you're back, you can come to lay on your back once again. Draw your knees into your chest. Take a little rock there, or a happy baby, or anything else that you would like. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to do that hip stretch on the second side. So if you want to take that here, you're welcome to. Or let it go, because we're not completely balanced anyway. So if you are ready, start to make your way into Shavasana. If you need anything else before that, take a moment. You can keep that blanket underneath your head or shift it to underneath your knees. If you still need a little bit of movement, one option is to bring the feet wide on your mat and windshield wiper your knees side to side as your head moves in the opposite direction. And then as you come to rest, the legs could be long, or you could have feet wide on your mat and knees knocking in toward one another to find a little bit more wideness across the lower back. So as you take a couple more controlled deep breaths here, on your exhale, I invite you to open your mouth and really feel yourself sinking down into the support of the earth beneath you, of whatever you have underneath you supporting your body. Feel this responsibility that we have to this beautiful planet that we live on. And also know that it's not just your job to fix it, right? That can feel really overwhelming. And really any action that we take is not enough. It's not enough to save the planet. Which doesn't mean we shouldn't do anything, but it does mean that we don't have to hold the weight of the world on our shoulders. But we can hold our government responsible. So let go of any control of your breath now. Just allow your breath to be free. Inviting in an ease. As you receive the benefits from your practice so that you may show up for life in an even more full and alive and present way. Where are you a gatekeeper? What learning is still necessary? Start to deepen your breath. Feel that conversation between the space inside of you and the space outside of you. Feel to the innermost parts of your body and the outermost parts. And start to find some movement if you're ready. If you would like to rest longer, you're welcome to. You can begin to stretch out or gather in. And begin to make your way onto your side if you are ready to come up. If you'd like to end as we began, you can place a hand onto your heart and then plug the fingertips of the opposite hand into the ground. Connecting once again into your heartbeat and into the earth. And let's close our practice with one sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. Bow your chin in toward your chest. Thank yourself for your practice. Thanks to one another, to the original stewards of whatever land you're on. I'm on Munsi Lenape land. To our ancestors on this path of yoga. Thank you all for your practice. I do want to remind folks that there are lots of beautiful things coming up, as well as some new classes on the schedule, which is exciting in this last little time. Alejandro is teaching early morning Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30. Monica and Kyle have new classes, I think, on Tuesday and Friday in morning or noon. Kiki's Queer and Trans Yoga class is moving to Tuesday evenings, and this class is moving to Thursday evening. So this was the last Monday of this class, and so starting next week I'll be teaching at 6:45 on Thursdays, and I hope that you all can make that time. And then Julia's doing an auricular acupuncture training on the 16th, this Saturday. The following Saturday is the first of 3 third root celebrations. So lots of beautiful things coming up. All right, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you.